weekend I was looking through some saved photos on my Instagram account, and I have a little folder set up for each room of the doll's house, and every time I see something that I like, whether it's a piece of furniture or a room set in, I save it into the relevant folders. Now, as you know, my idea for the living room was a cosy log cabin with a sort of elegant feel to it. And I think I'm getting there, but in all of the photos that I'd saved of the rooms that I really liked, they all had a log wall. So what I want to do is add something like that into the living room. Now, not an actual log wall, but I thought what might look nice was a clad wall. So I'm going to clad the back wall, which is at the moment just plain cream. And although I'll be having a dresser there, and obviously I'll be dressing that and having some nice plants and things on top to add a bit of colour, I really think a clad wall with the walnut wood dye will actually add quite a lot of warmth to that area. So let's get started.
So for the cladding, I'm going to be using this real wood flooring sheet, and this is strips of wood 12mm or ½ an inch wide, attached to an adhesive backing, which is really going to come in handy. So what I will actually do is sand this sheet, then I'm going to separate the strips and then apply the wood dye. I'm sanding it as a whole because obviously that's going to be easier, but I want to apply the wood dye to the individual strips so that I can get it along the edges as well, because when I put it into place, I don't want to be able to see the natural wood in between the slats or the strips. So I've got here a piece of 240 grade sandpaper that I've wrapped around my sanding block. And I'm just going to give the entire surface a sand using small circular motions. Okay, so I'm using here my soft brush just to remove the sanding dust. And as you saw there, I didn't go too mad with the sanding. They're not all entirely smooth, but for this project I actually don't mind that. I don't mind if we've got sort of different textures in them. And you can actually already see some of the grain patterns in the strips, and when you apply the wood dye that really does come out, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that looks as well. And again, you can see here, because this is natural wood, none of the strips are exactly the same. So we've got slightly darker ones and then some really light ones as well. And again, the wood dye won't completely cover that, so we'll still be able to see those differences. And that's what I really love, and that's going to make it look really rustic and log cabin-y, if that's a word. Okay, so I'll clean my work surface off now, and then I can start stripping these apart. And these are actually really easy to cut apart just with your craft knife, although I have just put a new blade in there. But what I like to start by doing is just folding over each strip like that. And it just sort of widens the gap a little bit between each of them. So do that to start. Okay, so then just come in with your craft knife. And just take your time as you go along, because you don't want to cut into the actual strip. You just want to cut the paper between them. So just nice and slowly, firmly as well. Like that. And then work your way along. So all of my strips are now split apart, and out of the 24 that make up a sheet, 5 of them were split strips. But in this case, it doesn't matter. I've just been and measured the room, and it's actually 303mm across and 227 high from the top of the floor to the ceiling. So I've also then got the skirting and the coving. So I'm going to have more than enough here for the actual height of the room, and they're obviously a lot longer than the width. At first I was thinking I'd need all of these, and I was hoping that they would be the width of the room, but they're 3mm or 1/8 of an inch shy, but I don't need them anyway, so that's fine. I can use complete strips. And these actually come to 240. So I need 227, probably less a couple of the height of a couple of strips for the skirting and the coving. But I am actually going to do all of these. And then once I've applied the wood dye, I'll then cut them to size. So it means I'll have some pieces of strip that I've got wood dye on, but it's okay because I'm always using these for projects. So I'll just put those to one side for another project. So what I am actually going to do then is just use some masking tape to secure these long ones to a painting sheet, and then I can start applying the wood dye. So I actually had to attach those onto 2 sheets in the end. I'm just going to pop that one to one side, and I'm going to be using my walnut wood dye, and I've got some here in a pot from another project. I'm not sure how well these are actually going to stick to this tape. Obviously it's the adhesive backing that I'm sticking to the tape rather than the actual wood, so they do keep popping off, but at least it'll give me a little bit of hold as I go along. So I've given that a good swirl around in the pot. I'll give it a bit of a stir with the paintbrush as well. Now I am actually only going to be using my 6mm brush, or 1/4 of an inch, just so that I can actually get along the edges. So even though you've got quite a large area to do, don't just use a really huge brush, as you will miss some of those edges. And I may get away with doing the one coat, but I'll see what it looks like when it's actually dried. And if I do need to do a second coat, then I can. I don't think that tape's going to hold them, so I might just have to put a glove on so that I can sort of get hold of one end while I apply the wood dye, but we'll see how it goes. So yes, if I have to do a second coat, then that's okay, but I will just let them dry completely and probably leave them overnight as well. I've got quite a few other bits to be carrying on with in the meantime. And then I'll apply a coat of clear varnish just to really sort of, you know, set the colour off. Give them a nice sheen. I'll work my way down this sheet and then I'll turn it and make sure I've got all the way along the edges of each strip. I am actually just going to put a glove on so that I can just hold on to each end of these. Already I'm really loving how that colour looks actually. The other thing I'm hoping as well is that the wood dye doesn't seep underneath the adhesive backing, because I really want to be able to use the adhesive on these rather than glue. If I have to, then obviously I have to, but if I can just stick these directly to the wall, it's going to be so much easier. And not so much with the actual sticking, but you know, the drying, because obviously if I have to glue them on, I'm then going to need to find a way of really pressing those against the wall as the glue dries. If I can just sort of stick them on, and the adhesive on these is quite good, then that's going to be a lot easier. And that's actually one of the reasons why I'm not doing it as I would a floor and actually putting them onto a template. That would have certainly been easier to do, but again, it's then getting that template to actually stick to the wall, and I don't want it to bubble up or come away in places. So that's just something we'll have to see once we start attaching them. But I'm sure I'll think of something. So that's the first sheet done, and I've been along the edges of each as well and made sure that I've completely covered them.
But look at all those lovely colour differences and textures already. I really love that. So I'm thinking I probably will just do the one coat to keep all of that texture in there. Okay, so I'll put this one to one side, do those remaining 4, and then like I say, I'll leave those to dry overnight and I'll see you again in the morning. So it's the next day now and the flooring strips are all completely dry. So what I actually want to do is trim them to size and then apply a coat of clear varnish. But before I make a single cut, I just want to re-measure the width of the room, just to double check that I've got that right. So if I go from wall to wall, that's 303 millimetres. I'm just going to sort of check it in 3 areas as well. So that is actually 303 millimetres, just under 12 inches all the way across. So, you know, I didn't think they would be, but the walls aren't angled inwards or anything like that. So what I think I might do is just trim them to 304. And then as I actually come to fit them, if I need to just snip a little bit off, then that's fine. But I'd rather cut them just a tiny bit longer than too short for obvious reasons. I don't want there to be any gapping along there. And what I will actually do as well is make sure that all the cut ends are on that right hand side, because if I just pick you up and show you in there, oops, door's crashing behind me, I've got the window in that corner and I will be adding curtains. So any sort of tiny little gaps will then all be at that end and I can cover them with a curtain, or they'll be hidden by the curtain, you know. And what I'll also do is start applying the strips at the top. And then if we get down to the bottom and I need to trim one across, then that's going to again be hidden behind the furniture. So it's always sort of good to look at it that way as well. Where would the cuts be best hidden? Okay, so let's get back into the craft room and I'll actually begin trimming. Okay, so I'm just going to line that up along the wall there. And then make the mark 304 millimetres. And then I'm going to just cut on that line. Okay. And then you've still got the backing there, so I'm just going to use my knife to go along the backing. Like that. And the reason I wanted to cut them before I actually apply the varnish is if I use these for another project, I may want to you know, apply another coat of wood dye and then varnish them, or not apply wood dye or whatever, you know, or not have them looking shiny, I mean. So I didn't want to sort of waste the entire strip. And I'm sort of trying not to look at them too carefully and think which bit I want to keep, because I'll be here all day. So I really am just going to go really randomly and just do it all from the left hand side there. And I did just stick with the one coat of wood dye, as I'm really pleased with how these look. I think the sort of slight colour variation and the texture is really going to add to that room. Like I say, I can see lots of nice sort of green plants standing against this. I love, you know, green against dark browns and wood colours. It's going to look really nice. Okay, so that's all of my pieces trimmed. I've dispensed some of my Rustin's clear gloss varnish into this pot, and that's really important because if you are applying clear varnish to a dark surface and you keep dipping the brush in your pot, you will actually contaminate the liquid in the pot. So always just put a little bit in another pot. Or if you're only doing a tiny area, sometimes I just put it on the glossy side of a piece of card. I'm not attaching them this time to a card, I'm just going to hold on to them
and then pop them on the tray. I think already that's added a really nice sort of richness to the wood. See that if I angle that into the light, really love that. Okay, so I'm going to try to get these done before lunch, and then again leave them drying, but this is a quick drying one, so I may be able to come back to this later this afternoon, but if not, we'll do it tomorrow and actually start fixing them into place. Okay, so it's the next day again now, and the strips are completely dry. So let's go and empty out the living room and get them into place. So I haven't actually stuck that into place yet, but I was just trying it there for size, and that is actually a perfect fit. So I'm really pleased now that I just added on that extra millimetre. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they're all going to go in that easily. Now, I won't actually be able to film as I'm going along, but I'll do some little shots so that you can actually see the wall being clad strip by strip. And I'm also very pleased to say that the adhesive strip is still working. So hopefully this isn't going to take me too long. And there we are, the completed wall. Now, I had a tiny gap along the bottom edge, just along the top of the skirting board. It was probably about 1 millimetre. So I just cut a slither of one of the strips and I fed that in there. It was a little bit thicker on that right-hand side, but you really can't tell. So I'm really pleased with how that looks. And it was one of those jobs that I thought would take ages, that I would need to use glue, I would need to trim a bit off of each of the strips, but they actually went in really easily. So I didn't have to trim any of them, and all of the adhesive has stuck really well. So I also gave the floor a bit of a polish using some beeswax polish. And now I'm going to put the furniture back in. I think you know what I'm going to say, but I really love this. As soon as I put the armchair back into place and saw the colour against that wall, I knew I'd made the right decision. As I said earlier, I think it adds a real sort of warmth to the room. I think with the plain wall there, it was far too sort of empty looking, far too light in that area. And I just think that really sort of pulls it all together, all the sort of wood accessories in the room. Now, I've got lots of plans for this room, including the floor rug that I've spoke about before and that little sideboard to go along the back. And I'll be starting that very soon, I think, because I really can't wait to carry on with this room. So that's it for today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of how the room is looking so far. And I'll see you again next Friday. So until then, take care. Bye.